So it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and for I don't know how many times this month, I can't sleep. I came downstairs because I was just starting to cry, and my fiance is trying to sleep, and when I cry, I tend to shake, and that wakes him up. And then, he gets emotional because I'm emotional, and it's hard for him. Anyways, I decided that my video from earlier today was kind of just scattered all over the place. So I think that I have to take more of an approach to talk about things, one at a time, because there's just so much information. The thing I guess I should start with, and I guess we should always start with, is ourselves, right? I am 30 years old. I don't have any children of my own. I always wanted them. I've always babysat. I took care of my little sister as much as she would let me. I've been a doula for my friends in labor. When I was a little girl, I used to have really bad insomnia, and I had internet in my room. So from 7 years old on, I was online studying the reproductive system, the biology therein. It was just a topic that always fascinated me. So I think as women, we tend to assume that fertility is just going to happen to us. We just assume that everything's going to be fine. My whole life was, when I'm a mom, when I have kids, they're going to, every aspect of my life was planted around what I'm going to do and how I'm going to be as a mother. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome 2 years ago. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer 9 or 10 months ago. Actually about 11 months ago, and started treatment about 9 months ago. Treatment consisted of an IUD that was put in place. The first IUD that was put in actually was placed wrong, so I basically birthed it out, which was remarkably painful. I ended up going to the ER, and they did ultrasounds and x-rays and pelvic exams, and they couldn't find the IUD. I don't know when it came out. I don't know where it came out. I have my suspicions, because I was clotting really bad. I have my suspicions that it just went into the toilet with a massive blood clot. On the 3rd of June, which was last month, my oncologist walked into the room and said, "We have the results from your pathology, from your most recent DNC, and your cancer is no longer reacting to the hormones, so it's time to get ready for a hysterectomy. I'm going to bring in the forms, and you're going to sign." It was abrupt. It was as matter of fact as possible. I have a really nice oncologist, and then I have this guy. And their approaches, as I was saying earlier, are very different. One is very kind. One is very much, I'm an oncologist and I'm trying to save your life from cancer. And the other one is, you're 30 and you're going through the emotional identity crisis that is infertility, and I'm going to help mitigate that as much as I can. So surgery is scheduled in 10 days. And I'm finding it really hard to sleep. I'm finding it really hard to focus. I'm supposed to be doing 2.5 weeks of homework in both of my classes that I'm taking for the summer semester so that I can turn them in before surgery. I have 10 days left to do that. It's great. Last night, I think, was the roughest of all the nights so far. After I was up half the night, I finally fell asleep. I was having very severe nightmares, and I woke up drenched in sweat and went to the bathroom to vomit. Don't know where it came from. I'm not ill. I've been fine all day. My GI tract is all messed up, from heartburn to indigestion to you name it, I've got it. Like, the anxiety is so severe. And it has more to do than just the surgery itself. It's more of, I'm going to be forced to go into the surgery and sign paperwork saying that I consent. And it just blows my mind because I don't consent. It's illogical to me to sign something saying that I'm okay with this plan of treatment that I didn't choose, that I didn't want. And, some people might call me selfish because there are cancers that people are dying from every day. There are people with no hair and no eyebrows because they're going through chemo and radiation, and that's not, at this point, as far as we know, that's not required. If later on they find cancer in the uterine muscle or anywhere else in my body, then yes, I will. I will ultimately need chemo and radiation. So I kind of made a stink about having the mean surgeon do my surgery. I said I didn't want him to do it. I don't trust him. At one point, I went to have a biopsy done, and the nice oncologist does what's called a cervical block to help avoid as much of the pain as possible. There is still some pain, but it helps. And my nurse, who is a phenomenal human being, laid out the cervical block at my most recent biopsy for the mean doctor, and he just completely ignored it. He's also the one that put my first IUD in wrong. He's also the one that walked into the room and when I first met him said, "You have PCOS, there's only a 40% chance that you'll ever get pregnant anyways. Even if I give you an MRI, there's only an 80% chance that it's accurate. Recurrence of this cancer is 80%. So really, realistically, the chance of you ever having a child is only like 20% anyways. So I feel like we should just do the surgery." From the perspective of an oncologist who watches people die every single day from cancer, I understand his concerns. I'm not naive. I've been a part of the medical world most of my adult life. I get it. However, this is my fertility, my identity, my dreams, my future, and it's not fair to dismiss it as if it were trivial. It's not trivial to me. It matters. So I made a stink, and I'm going to be having the nice surgeon do my surgery for me. Like I said, that's in 10 days, and he's going to be as conservative as he possibly can, and if he's able to, he's going to leave my ovaries in. If there's any reason to believe that the cancer has spread, he will have to remove my ovaries. He's going to remove my uterus, my cervix, and surrounding lymph nodes. It's called a sentinel mapping. Basically, the mapping is done to test some of the lymph nodes and see if there's any cancer cells present. If there are cancer cells present, then we go back to discussing, chemo and radiation. If there are cancer cells present outside of my uterus, they will go back and they will take the ovaries. Hopefully, by then I will have had a chance to work with the infertility specialist to harvest some eggs. I am getting married in 7 weeks to the most incredible human being that I could even describe, and I feel in the depths of my soul like I was born to be with him. And I feel like he's going to marry half of a woman because I can't carry his child for him. But I would like to have a chance, even if I can't carry them, for somebody else to carry our children, to give us children that are ours, as stupid as it might seem to some people. But that is my journey, and that's where I'm at right now. That's it, I guess. Now I wait. I know that recovery time for the surgery is 6 to 8 weeks. I have gas X because they fill the abdomen full of gas. So that'll help to relieve a little bit of that. I also have stool softener because that first bowel movement is notoriously painful. I have my little picker-up or trash picker-up thing that the janitor uses in the school, just in case I drop anything, because I will not be able to bend over for several weeks. I won't be able to walk very far for the first couple weeks. I'm getting what's called a laparoscopic surgery with vaginal assist. And there are YouTube videos about that if you want to know how that's done. My recommendation is always to look for the cartoon videos and not for the actual physical videos if you're talking about a surgery that's going to be done to you or a loved one. Yeah. So right now I'm waiting for surgery and I'm struggling to sleep, and I'm trying my best to let my fiance sleep. That's it for now.